goodness me, it's all working. Just about. That's good news. Right, hello everybody. I am Chris. Hello. Right, I have no pop left. This is a tragedy. Okay, so on the screen, which you're seeing there, this is where I work on the wiki. I know some people, I say some people who are watching the stream, there won't be many, but basically it's an open world game insofar as you're on an island and you can explore the island, you know, and it is what's known as weird horror. Sorry, weird fiction, not weird horror. Okay, as talked about by Mr. H.P. Lovecraft himself. Now, I'm not going to be doing much because I'm kind of testing the various things that I'm doing here, but I do need to just... Oh, dear me. Right. Yeah, I'm just testing that it's streaming properly because I've just set up the new Twitch account, Periscope account. Not Twitch, sorry, Twitter. And basically it's streaming to 5 places at once rather than just one. Okay, this is what's known as casting your net wide. So, fingers crossed anyway, fingers crossed. So, as per usual, you can message me and say hello via the various outlets. So if you're on Discord, come into Discord, say hello. If you're on Twitch, you can say hello in the channel and hopefully it will get through to me here. I've got a control panel. Same goes for Periscope and YouTube and all that other groovy stuff. So, X's, eh? X's. I'll be doing this for about 20 minutes because I've got some other things to do. I've spent a lot of time setting this up today, as you can see from my collection of empty cups. Another empty cup. Good times. Okay. I can obviously see if there's anyone watching, which there isn't. So, well, there's one person on Facebook. Hello. I can't see who you are, but hello. This is the fun bit, you see. I get to wait for a billion hours while it's done its thing. Can I turn this off for a moment? Okay. There we go. Give me a full screen, you see, like that. Just put that in the bottom corner. That's my copyright logo thingy. Oh my word, someone's watching on YouTube. Hello YouTube person, how are you? You must have got a notification and gone, ooh, what's that? Okay, it's going to be dark as hell in here for reasons, okay, so I'm not working inside at the moment, I'm working outside. Okay, I just need to change my intensity of my skylight. It's already at 0.5, curiously enough. It's cool. Let's reset my sun's hardness because it's not correct. There we go. Seems minor, but I know it's a thing. There we go. I'll reset the lighting. Right, so we're in here. Yay, I'm right. Okay, now I need to go to the lighthouse. You may be all be like, why do you need to go to the lighthouse? Well, there's a reason. I need to now focus almost entirely on these. Okay, these are the steps leading up to it. And then inside, these are the steps leading up to the top. Because these are primitive and basic and make me sad. Okay, that's the reason. So, I'm pretty sure, from what I can remember, because it's been a month or so since I worked on this. Hello other Facebook friend, how are you? I always say hello, it's always polite. Right, so I'm going to go to my static meshes, and I have these two here. Okay, these are the two important ones. Hello, 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 hello. And this one here. Hello. Now, I'm going to take this, right click, and I am going to go to my asset actions, migrate, no, export, yes. Okay, and if I go to assets, you see how I keep everything so neat and tidy here? Yeah, there you go. So I need to make a new one. This is the lighthouse. Now when I go into building the lighthouse, hello, when I go into building the lighthouse, I basically started with a load of primitives. Okay, so it's the easiest way to go. You kind of build up your blocks and go from there. However, obviously, this isn't kind of what I want now that I've got to the point where I can really start to refine it. A good example of that would be, and I'll show you in a minute, in a second. I'm going to hold it in my head so I remember. I'm just going to get the outer stairs and I'm going to migrate those as well. Okay, save selected, yes. Okay, that cancel, that's not what I meant. I didn't want to migrate. I wanted to export. Done. Okay, so I'm going to go into my 3D Studio Max. New version 2020. I'm well aware there's newer versions, just haven't got around to upgrading for a while. Go figure. Good times for all. Intrigue and mystery and meanwhile things. What's it do? Novelty. Right. Reloaded. Okay, now I don't expect to be going back into Unreal Engine for a while, so I'm going to close the window and it's gone. And 3 people on Facebook. Hiya! Right. So this is 3D Studio Max. It looks very scary because you probably don't know how to use it. And if you do, cool. Okay, there's lots of buttons, and I tend to ignore most of them. Now, I'm just going to have a look at one of my assets. Okay, I've got 2 of them. Now, I'll throw a mixer, just to start in the background, and I'm going to import, and I want to go to my lighthouse. Just go by name, here we go, lighthouse. And I'm going to get stair brush static mesh, okay, which is a very small file, just 69. There we are. So here you can see it. This is basically my helix style staircase. And don't get me wrong, okay, it's cool and groovy and all that kind of fun thing. However, it's very, very basic. Okay, this is why you haven't seen any screenshots from inside of the. Look at that! 2 people on Facebook lost interest already. God, attention spans. If it was Topless or Boris Johnson, you'd have stayed. Anyway, all these steps really primitive. I mean, if I hit F4, you can see there's not a lot of detail on them. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace each step with something more along these lines. I mean, it won't be this design because this was designed for a completely different thing. But let's just load it slowly, eh? When Bagpuss woke up, all his friends woke up. There we go. So, as you see, this is a much more kind of industrial look to it, but also it relies less on poured concrete. Okay, this is the kind of thing that would have been a lot easier to install. So I've got this, which is the brace, giant chain, and then the step. And the idea is that these go up and round, up and round, up and round. Now I'm not going to be using that. Hello, new person on YouTube. I'm not going to be using that to make it work. Instead, oh well, Facebook, bloody hell. What I'm going to do, you can tell I'm having fun doing this. What I'm going to do instead is, I'm going to use a more cathedral style design. So if I come down here to where my initial step is, okay, and incidentally the scale on this, screwed, it's 100 times bigger than it should be. Doesn't matter, I'll adjust it later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this step just here, and if I use my tools, I'm just going to right click and convert it from a mesh to an editable poly. All the Facebook people have gone now. Okay, now if I just grab that, it's like no one wants to learn anything or hang out with me. Okay, now if I take that and then do Control I, that'll select everything else, and it's gone. Look at that, learning, man, learning. Okay, so we've got a good enough shape here for me to kind of get started. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just remove the excess edges that I don't need. So I'm just selecting them. Doop. And I'm going to do Control Backspace. Hold on. Now there may be some days when I'm streaming and I'm not using my mouth and talking. Okay, or I've got my volume turned down, or I'm playing music. I'm just warning you in advance. Especially you, beloved YouTube stream watchers. Okay, that looks about fine. Now, this is going to go up about 50 each time. So 50 units. So, I think what I need to do is I need to scale this in, because I know for a fact that this is way too big. So, if I go to my scale tool, and you can see it's set at 1000, that doesn't seem right, does it? 1000%. Down to 100. Now we can see our grid at last. Okay. Now it shouldn't be that big either, because if I get this, remember everything. 1 unit is 1 centimetre, incidentally, just in case you don't know. Okay, so at the minute our step is. Well, that's not too bad. 2 meters across. Quite wide, but it's manageable. Okay. Now the middle, I need to put a cylinder on. So I'm going to just drag that out and up. And go to my move tool and just change all of these to 0. There we are, that way it's in absolute 0 in the world position. Another Facebook person! And God, I get excited like a puppy, don't I? Right then, so height 50. Radius, let's say 40. Okay. This will keep us in what do you call it, steps as they say. Now I'm just having a look at the overall design, and I'm going to reduce my height segments to 1. And this is going to become my stair template, just out of interest. Now what I'm going to need to do is attach this onto here. That's not difficult, it really isn't. And I want to kind of flatten the shape a bit along one plane as well. So it'll give us a kind of more angular kind of shape as we go along. Okay, so I'm going to go to my move tool, and just here, let's have a look at you. I think I could do with just giving you a bit of trim. So it's swift loop, like that. Yeah, that'll do. And I'm going to delete the bottom piece. There we are. And then on the underside, 3 on YouTube. Blimey. I'm going to click that. Personally, I've forgotten actually that YouTube's quite a busy platform. Okay, now if I go into my front viewport, and remember I'm just kind of lining this up so I can get started on it shortly. I'm not starting on it exactly now. I'm just getting basic shapes done, so that later on today, once I've gone off and done some other jobs that I have to do, I can work on this. Now, there will be a rail going around this, and I've got a couple of choices on how to do it. I can have a rail that kind of goes up, like that, a sweeping rail, or I can have a rail that's going to basically be individual per. What I mean by that is, it's going to be difficult because this box isn't going to face the right direction. However, imagine it like this, each rail has one of these on the side. Now that's a lazy way of doing things, okay, and it's going to look very clonk, clonk, clonk. Now the ideal way of doing this will be if I have a cylinder. which I'm going to place here. Okay, and at the top of the cylinder, let's say we've got kind of a tie or whatever, so I'll just represent it by this ball, and that's going to go up and up and up. Now I'll probably use a chain for that. And everyone's gone! I'll probably use a chain for that, but we will see. You're back! See how excited I get, it's like a puppy. Right. Oh, hello. Right then. Top zoom. Okay, so I can see the shape of this. Hit, not 3, hit F3, F4, so I can get shade. And I'm going to go straight through here. And I want to use a quick slice. Actually, no, I don't. I want to use, I've got a different tool for this. I use slice plane. So if I press the slice plane button, and just turn this like that. It'd be best if I did it by angles. So I'll press angle snap. There we are. And I'm going to move this to about here. And then angle it so that it's towards the middle. So, where the old trying to view things in an artisty way kind of helps. But also, non-tangible polygons also help. Not you. Go away, silly thing. You, there we are. Look how huge this is, good grief. Right, okay. So that means now I can line this up a bit easier, as you can probably see. And we can see what the overlap is now, you see. The overlap is correct. Right then. Now I'm going to go back to my... You see, this is the boring part, in my opinion, is kind of getting all the shapes and all the forms and everything correct. Don't get me wrong, that's essential, but at the same time. Right, now this has 18 sides, so if I get out my super duper maths tool, and do 360 divisible by 18. Okay, that was very good. 360 divided by 18. Why are you doing this to me? 360 divided by 18. There, okay, 20. So, this is going to be 20-degree increments from each other, okay? So, in order to make a complete row of these, is what I mean. So, if I, for example, hang on, get this to go. Why are you being awkward to me? Stop it. Okay, that's not you, so I've got my angle snap on. There we go, and I make another 17 copies. I'm not even going to ask. I should have made 17 copies. I didn't. I'll make 16 copies, just to show you. There, so you can see now. Okay, this is the correct amount needed, including overlap. God, talk about a bloody chore. Right, let's get rid of these. Now, this is a very high step, so what I can actually do as well is I can break it down into 2 pieces. So, if I was to, let's say, move this to halfway down. Now, this is the tricky bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an edge through here. Okay, so right click, convert to editable poly. And if I go through here, hiya, and do Connect. Okay, so I've got my single line going in there. I've got my left viewport. Okay, I'm going to select this. Just use my move tool. And if I move this down now just to underneath here, okay? What I'm going to do is, to make it a little bit easier for myself, I'm going to move my pivot. I know everyone gasps in horror at that thought. Move his pivot? Is he mad? No, I'm moving my pivot. There we go. So that one goes there. And then the second one goes there. Now you may be wondering why a second one, and that's because it'll add some irregularity to the steps when it comes to material placement at the start, and also because, which is very important, the step height of the person going up. Now I can set the comfortable distance that this guy can step up to 50 centimetres, okay, but if you ever tried to step up a 50 centimetre stair, it's quite a ways, it's half a metre. So setting them here instead, these are 25 centimetres apart, okay, which is much smaller and therefore, in my opinion, much more manageable. Also, the difference is that as I have two of them, I'll be able to set up the rope or the chain or whatever it is I'm using to kind of connect the two, and that will make things a lot easier. Plus, you'll kind of see as I go along. It's going to make everything generally rather a lot more manageable, in my opinion. I'm going to keep this middle line in as well, because I'll probably add some detail here. These are very important, you see, because you don't think to yourself, oh, stairs are important, but they really, really are. Okay, I'm going to save this, because this is obviously, you know, the piece I'm working on now, and I'm going to put it into my library, no, my lighthouse, okay? So this is the stairs master low detail. I always describe my pieces wherever I can. I know Master Zap doesn't think I do. I do give them detail in my own file systems a lot of the time, just so that I can kind of know what they are and what they're for. Okay, so that's the stair kind of done. I've got a few things to do now regarding my home stuff, and for all the people that have been on my channel, thanks for dropping by, and hopefully you found it interesting. See you later on. How do I stop this thing?